Welcome to our Save Up Saturday episode for our LCF Talk with yours truly, Dr. Josephine Grace Rohotan, also known as the Diet Doctora. And since nandito tayo ngayon in Japan, pag-uusapan natin yung mga save up tips on how to stay low carb while traveling in Japan. And we know na Japan, especially Tokyo, yung nasa pinaka-center talaga, is one of those cities na merong mga highest living expenses. So, mahal talaga. Even before coming to Japan, marami nang nag-warn that you should really prepare so much because yun nga, especially yung mga pagkain dito, it can really be pricey. More pricey than Philippines and even other na mga Asian countries. So, when you eat here, regardless if it's low carb or high carb, generally you can spend siguro mga 700 to 1,000 pesos minimum per person per meal. And if we compute it, say for example, dalawa kami nagto-travel, if kumakain kami ng high carb and the usual way of eating, like minimum 3 times a day, that's easily 6,000 pesos in a day. And if, for example, we'll stay here for 10 days, that's already 60,000 pesos. So it's really going to be pricey. However, if you are practicing low carb, it will be very easy to also naturally fast. When we do low carb the right way, hindi na tayo nagiging ganon ka, mahilig kumain. Not that nawawala na tayo ng gana, but we are actually appetite corrected. At ano ang ibig sabihin ng appetite correction? When you are already appetite corrected, kumakain ka no longer because of time, no longer because of boredom, or just a product of habit. But when you eat, it is really from nutritional needs. So when it comes to low carb way of eating, mas napapadali yung pagpa-fasting. In fact, it is so easy na it is effortless. Hindi mo kailangang i-deliberate or consciously na planuhin yung fasting because your body will simply tell you not to eat yet kung hindi pa talaga niya kailangan. Bakit merong ganong magic ang low carb? This is because when you do low carb, your insulin is already low. Low normal, hindi yung dangerously low. When it is low normal, then your body will be on fat burning mode kapag kailangan ito ng energy. So, when you're on low carb, if ever na naubos na ng katawan mo yung calories that you ate from your last meal, then automatically kukuha lang siya ng calories o ng energy from your stored fats. No matter how you think na parang butot balat na kayo, it's very, very dismal for you to really go that malnourished route if you do low carb the right way. You will notice that in times na hindi na kayo kumakain, your body will not signal hunger, but it will just be energized. In fact, that's the common na mga testimonials ng low carbers that they have so much energy na hindi nila alam kung saan ang galing, knowing that they now eat less as compared to before. And when it comes to low carb, that lowered insulin, ito yung nagbibigay ng bridge ng gap. When in times na hindi ka kumakain, you will not feel hungry simply because nga, yung body mo ay nagpo-fuel na from its own fat stores. Yung mga taba-taba na iimbak sa ating katawan, most especially sa mga baguhan pa lang, those that are causing fatty liver, ang pagtaas ng triglycerides, VLDL, ang paglaki ng tiyan, those belly fat are all extra fat na kailangan mabigyan ng pagkakataon para matunaw, para maggawang energy. And that can only happen when your insulin level in the body is low. And low carb is the way to go. So some few tips lang when it comes to eating in Japan. Of course, it is best to choose low carb. Why? If you choose low carb, you only need to eat at least once a day. So once a day lang, and then maybe some light snacks. So, or a second meal na hindi na ganon ka-heavy. Just one regular heavy meal is already enough to sustain you the whole day. And as what we've noticed nga, we also save time. So, kapag less yung time na aming inilalaan sa pagkain, we are able to maximize more of our itineraries. Mas marami kaming napupuntahan, mas marami kaming nakikita, more time to enjoy being in this wonderful place, this beautiful place, as compared to just eating. And when it times na nga na kakain na kami, merong mga considerations that it should be worth breaking the fast. It should be something yummy, something enjoyable, and of course, since we are in this foreign place, something na ma-experience natin dito lamang. So that is why if you want to explore more and savor more, make sure that whenever you eat, it is something that you can really look forward to, you can enjoy, at hindi siya, most importantly, mag-trigger ng hunger, ng further cravings when it comes to your appetite. Kasi yung high carb po, hindi alam ng iba na akala nila gugutumin sila kapag hindi na sila kakain ng kanin. But what they don't know is that the more you eat rice, the more you eat noodles, the more you eat bread, all the more every 1 to 2 hours gugutumin ka because your body will have increased insulin, at kapag increase nga yung insulin, your blood sugar will always be lowered. It will maintain on the lowered end, and it will trigger cravings to increase that sugar need kasi dependent na tayo on glucose or sugar as a source of energy. Whereas the difference when it comes to low carb way of eating, mababa yung insulin, our blood sugar is actually stable because majority of our energy is already coming from fats. That's why when we eat here, we will show you later kung ano yung mga kinain namin yesterday, but it's mostly meat. Merong mga meals na nagbibigay ng rice and bread, but we just said no to it, and our drinks are all sugar-free, and it's so good that they are serving this country is health conscious in a way na yung kanilang iced coffee and iced tea nila is literal talaga na plain black coffee na meron lang ice and plain tea na wala ring added sugar. So when it comes to saving up tips, so we can have 3 things, of course. So first, the mga main meals. So just eat 1 regular or heavy meal that you like, or maximum of 2. So you are already saving up 1 extra meal, and the snacks. But if ever you will just have 1 regular meal and the snacks, I will show you in a short while. So next one would be drinks. So drinks, medyo marami ditong high carb drinks din. So you just choose, of course, the safest. Even water is a little expensive. So water would cost around 40 pesos per bottle. But what is nice is, kung kakain ka sa restaurants, it's also free. So that is why it's always a good idea to bring your water bottle. Nakabili kami ng water yesterday because we forgot our water bottle here in our hotel. Kaya napabili kami ng water bottle na ito, ng mineral water na ito, and that is a lesson learned. Kailangan dalhin always because you can easily refill it. Marami namang water stations, and of course, in restos where you eat, you can just ask. And in the hotel, another one that's good is they have free ice. So, pwede lang humingi ng ice, and it's already filled up with ice so that anytime, kahit malamig dito, no? But it's a force of habit na nakasanayan na namin na every time there's ice, we always fill our bottles with ice so that any drink, water, coffee, tea, it will be very refreshing. And of course, for the drink, your hotel will usually have free coffee. So yan, so that's free coffee. It's a drip coffee, so it's black lang and plain. And of course, if you want, meron din tea. Oh, nasa na yung tea natin? Oh, it's here na pala. So we have tea, and kung gusto mo ng tea na plain, you can already set this one in your water overnight, so that's already considered as cold brew tea. You can already enjoy that in your day the next day. And of course, so those are for our drinks. Those are the tips that you can have. You can have free drinks the whole time because you will have coffee, you will have tea, you'll have ice na free, you'll have water na free. So no need na. Maganda rin sa kanilang restaurants dito is they have a drinking station. And sa drinking station na yon, it's a separate payment. So, if you are on low carb, so at least you won't be spending extra for the drinks na hindi mo naman kinokonsume. And if ever you want also, it's also not that cheap then because not that expensive rather, because it's also unlimited and you can have your bottles refilled. It's gonna be worth it. Around nasa 100 pesos lang per unlimited sa drink station. One tip also, if you just want to stay in one place na usually people dine and spend time na mag-work or tumambay lang, it's okay if you don't order from the menu. Pwede lang kayong tumambay doon and just avail of the drink station na unlimited drinks, and then so you have coffee and you have a lot of tea selections there na pwede nyong i-enjoy, and that's only 100 pesos spending here in Japan, and you can stay there, charge your phones, your gadgets, do your online work, or just chill and enjoy the moment doing people watching or just planning your day, anything that you have in mind. So those are the simple things when it comes to eating. Main meal, of course, you can already save when you're fasting. The next one is when it comes to your drinks. So pwedeng wala kayong spend for your drinks, or if you will just spend for your drinks, make sure you maximize the space and then the time that you spend there. And lastly, snacks. I know sa mga baguhan pa lang, mahirap mag pure low carb nang walang minamunch, especially sa mga hilig mag-snacking. Especially, shout out to my beloved sister that whenever she's traveling or on the road, it's always synonymous na road trip equals snack. So, mahilig mag-nguya ng kung ano-ano, and it's because of her that I also somewhat adapted that idea na kahit hindi ko siya kinakain the whole time, but just to have that in my bag, in anywhere that is very handy, it's already giving me that sense of security na anytime if I want to eat, I can just eat. So this one are just the regular finds that you can have in any 24-hour convenience store. So of course, nuts. And then we also have this one. It's from Muji. It's baked cheese, kaya lang wala ng laman. So baked cheese, nasa 1 gram lang ang carbs nito per serving. So baked cheese with dried fish. So of course, anything packed is already considered as a caution list. And then when our body sometimes looks for celebrations, especially na sobrang daming ang gaganda, and of course the yumminess is already part of that, but it's mostly high carb desserts. So sometimes kaysa naman na madapa ka in those desserts, I sometimes make sure that meron akong something sweet if ever merong mga ganong times na craving. So, I got this sugar-free zero na chocolate na ang technique whenever you buy these ones, kasi especially na, although may translation naman, no? But if ever you cannot really translate and you can never be sure kung eto ba talaga ay safe na low carb, you only buy the small packets na in an amount na kahit pa uubusin mo siya, you know na you will not go over your 50 gram of carb limit allowance. So, say for example, this sugar-free chocolate ay 40 grams. So, of course, it is impossible na it is only carbohydrates. It is really impossible for that one. But, even if it's full carbohydrate, then it is still pasok in your daily budget. And usually, hindi naman ito nauubos in one sitting. So this one, mga kalahati pa yung natira. And we shared it yesterday with One True Love. So, hopefully, by 40, mga 20 grams na lang yung natira. And if you look at the nutrition facts there, yung pinakamalaki, usually there's protein, fats, and carbohydrates, and sugar. We checked yesterday that the total carbohydrates here is 20, and the fibers here is 4.1. So, nasa 16 grams yung net carbohydrates niya. But if, for example, you cannot understand this, just choose the biggest number and assign that as carbohydrate. Then you know kung ano yung maximum limit mo. So, for example, this whole pack, this 40 grams, kahit pa pure carbohydrates pa siya, it's just 40 grams. And you just make sure na yun na yung pinaka-carbs mo in a day. And if ever you will be a little more rigid, so you can choose among the nutrition facts the highest number. So that's 20 grams. So kahit uubusin mo to, it's just 20 grams at most of carbohydrates. But of course, moderation, and of course, take them with caution and with the right reason and mindset. And also this one, this baked cheese is just 37 grams. And since it's just 1 gram yung net, 6 gram yung net carbs nito. So assign it 7. So you have just 7 grams of net carbs for the whole pack. So one technique to lower your carb intake is, of course, share it with someone else and someone you love para pareho kayong mag-enjoy, and you also share the extra sugar, and of course it will be even cheaper. And also the nuts. So the nuts is mostly almonds, and this one is 80 grams. Not sure, so if we assign that one, the highest number here would be 46, or let's say 50. So 46 less than 50 grams, so pasok pa rin if you eat the whole of this in one day for your 50-gram carb allowance. But of course, always when I eat nuts, usually I want to eat it after a meal, and it's like my dessert. So it closes my appetite, and I feel like my meal is already done when I eat some little nuts at the end of it. Although not every day. I've outgrown na din yung dependency ko on many things. So I try not to have this rigid routine na kailangan talaga na nandyan, because it will disable us. It disables me to enjoy life if I'm depending only on one thing, on a certain routine. It is better enjoyed when we are open to experience and open to many other possibilities, and we become resilient and flexible sa kung anumang mga adjustment na kailangan natin gawin. And of course, meron pa kami natira from our mga low-carb bread na baon from the Philippines. So, yun lang yung ating Save Up Saturday tips for how to stay low-carb in Japan. And I will show you some of the videos, some of the places that we went to yesterday. And I hope you enjoy. So, yan. Cheers, everyone! So, we are here in Akihabara Station. This is the home of animes and maid cafes, and also electronic. So yan. So if you can see the trees, it's now on autumn colors. So yan, it's fall. So from green, it turns into some yellow, orange, red, eventually brown, to give way for winter, and later on spring and summer, and then back to autumn. So yan, that's our episode for today for our Save Up Saturday in this LCF Lifestyle Talk with yours truly, Diet Doctora, Dr. Josephine Grace Rohotan. And always remember to, of course, always stay low carb so that we all stay safe. Bye-bye! Coffee, and this one is tea. Their iced coffee and iced tea here are pure, sugar-free. That's steak with raw ham salad. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, you can see more contents in our YouTube and Facebook channels at Dr. Josephine Grace Rojo and Dr. Josephine Grace Rojo Tan, respectively. For those who wish to be guided, we have an ongoing structured learning program where we will teach you how to adapt a low-carb and fasting lifestyle for healing specific modern-day lifestyle diseases like diabetes, hypertension, cancer, fatty liver, PCOS, GERD, and many more. You can send an email to our admins or send a DM in our inbox. I hope to see you all there. Thank you so much. Stay low-carb, stay safe. Bye!